Chapter 2, Callie and Susie. That same day, Susie sat on the bench of her mirrored dressing table. She was brushing her hair and humming a song a little too loudly. Ouch, she shouted while the brush fell to the floor. She wanted Callie to notice her or speak to her, say something to her. But Callie's attention was someplace else. She never even looked in Susie's direction. She lay on the floor facing the opposite wall. When Susie realized Callie was paying her no mind, page 16, she put the brush down a little too hard on the table. Then she got the high back chair from the other side of her room and placed it against the wall that was farthest away from the window. Now, Callie Wilcom, you listen to me. You get up from this floor. You must sit up and keep to this chair, Susie said, pointing quickly and with authority. Callie was slow to move, but Susie could not sit still. Every other minute or two, she would get up from the dressing table and sashay around the room, moving past the window for a peek of what was going on in the yard as she continued humming her song and brushing her hair. Callie was flooded with memories and sad thoughts. Today, Susie announced, hesitantly turning toward Callie, you may not brush my hair this morning. I will do that for myself. Callie did not care the least bit about the knots in Susie's hair. She did not want to notice the girl, but Susie demanded her attention. She wondered if this might be Susie's way of caring for her. Susie was so hard to understand. Susie knew Callie balked at brushing out the tangles of her hair more than she did. Still, it was too much effort to consider the twisting and turnings of Susie's mind. Callie sat sideways on the chair. Her head turned away from Susie and the window and leaned against the back of the chair. She was limp as wet clothes hanging on the clothesline. From the bedroom window, you could see the whole of the farmyard. Susie was delighted to watch what was happening. She had never seen the likes of a slave sale before. Normally, Mr. Henry kept these matters private, preferring to go into town to the slave market alone or with one of the overseers. But the news of the war turned everything upside down. Out of convenience to Mr. Tweet and an eagerness to get this sale over with, Mr. Henry conducted his business right in the farmyard. Susie could not contain her excitement. She wanted to chatter about what was going on in the farmyard. Callie was the only one nearby. Callie had made it clear she did not want to know one little thing of the misery Mr. Henry Warren was making this day. So really quick, what is happening right now? What's going on in this story, in this chapter?
Callie and
Susie.
Susie are not talking, and they're like.
So Callie is up in Susie's bedroom. We know that Callie, what do we know about Callie?
Her mom died.
Her mom did die giving childbirth, yep. But what's happening out in the farmyard today? Something's happening. Someone is getting sold.
Oh, her brother.
Her brother Joseph is getting sold because he's a slave, right? So Callie, what we've noticed or what we've read is that Callie, her brother is brother Joseph and she's little Charlie. They're like her step siblings. She has a new stepmother, Mama Ruth, who is married to her father. Her father's name is Hampton. I'll get into this a little bit more and I'll show you like how everyone is related in this story because it's a little confusing. Hampton is a half brother to Miss Catherine, who is a white woman who kind of lives in this house where Hampton lives. It's like a big plantation. So Hampton's father was white, but Hampton is not fully white because his dad had a child with one of the slaves that worked at the plantations. So Hampton is of mixed race, right? He is half white and half black. So he is free because his family, the rest of his other family, is white. So he is a free man now. Callie will also get freedom papers because she is part white as well, right? But her step family, Mama Ruth, Joseph, baby Charlie, they are black. Okay. So they're not related to like Miss Catherine, Mr. Henry Warren. They're not related to those people. Okay. So what's happening is Susie is the white daughter of Miss Catherine and Mr. Henry Warren, who are the people who like live in the house and run the plantation and who own the slaves. Okay. So Susie's white. She's looking out the window all excited for the slave trade because she's so interested. She's never seen it before. And how is Callie feeling? Because what's going to happen to her brother? Yeah, he's going to get sold. So can you imagine how both of them are feeling very differently, right? And so Callie doesn't really want to entertain Susie. Like Susie's kind of like walking around like, oh, I'm brushing my hair. Like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a slave trade. Like, I'm so excited to watch it. And Kelly's like, yeah, I don't really want to like talk to you about this. Like, I'm really upset kind of thing. You know what I mean? And they're young girls, right?
That was my sister. I was slapped 12 times. So
Yeah. Yeah, but if she did that, she'd get in a lot of trouble, right? Okay, so at that point, Albert, the next part says, Albert and John are already strapped into the wagon for the long trip south, she exclaimed with excitement in her voice. Now, Mr. Tweet is looking Joseph over. It was of little consequence to Kelly that Susie announced every interaction. Kelly already knew what was happening because Mama Ruth's cries grew even louder. Finally, Susie slapped Callie's arm with the back of her hairbrush so that she would look up when she spoke to her. Callie, now, you pay attention to me, Susie demanded. Kelly looked at Susie as if for a moment she did not remember who she was. It hurts me to hear my Mama Ruth cry, she told her. I should be with her. I think she needs me now. Just never mind about that, Callie. I need you more. Daddy and I insist you are here with me in my room. This is for your own good, our own good. You know Daddy knows what is best for us all. He has his family and all these other mouths to feed. So don't you go and bring temper to me, Callie. I just won't have it. She turned away from Callie but kept right on talking. There is great need for farm labor in the deep South, Susie explained, sounding so much like Mr. Henry. The war has started, Callie. You know this, Susie added, raising her voice almost to a scream as she went to her dressing table and took something from the drawer. Just look at this and see for yourself. She held up a newspaper advertisement so that Callie could see it. She read the advertisement, pointing out every word. Wanted, slave labor. In the South, cotton is king. There is cash money to be made. Each slave is sold for $2,000. Callie only nodded. She refused to look at Susie or the paper she was holding. It was not temper that kept her from looking. Callie was feeling lost and disoriented as she did that night when the two girls went exploring an old man Cowper's cave. That was the night Kelly saw a side of Susie she had not seen before. That night, Susie ran away and left Callie behind alone in Cowper's cave.